All right, guys. Now, for skill 20, we are finally going to do a little bit of practice while we are listening to the audio. For skill 18, we try to anticipate the topics. Okay, what is the conversation about? Make a prediction about the topic. Skill 19, anticipate the questions. What do you think the questions are going to be based on the answers? And on 20, we're going to try to determine the topic while we are listening. So we're going to try to confirm if our prediction about the topic is correct. As you listen to each long conversation, you should be thinking about the topic or main idea for each conversation. Since the first one or two sentences generally give the topic, you should be asking yourself what the topic is about while you're listening carefully to the first part of the conversation. I need you to write that in your notebook. Write this on your notebook. Since the first one or two sentences generally give the topic, you should be asking yourself what the topic is while you're listening carefully to the first part of the conversation. On this test and on almost any English test, the first sentence or two sentences, they tell you about the topic because that's what people generally do in real life. Before you start a conversation with someone, you tell them what it's about. Normally, you normally tell them what it's about. Think about it. You can tell your friends, something crazy happened to me the other day. Algo loco me pasó otro día. And now your friend knows that you're going to tell them something crazy that happened to you. Or I saw something interesting on TikTok. Vi algo interesante en TikTok. Y ya sé que vas a decir algo interesante de TikTok. It's a normal thing that humans do. We say what we're going to talk about at the beginning of our conversation. Okay, normal life skill. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, cool. On the recording you hear, you can't believe what I just got. I bet you got that new car you've always wanted. Now, how in the world did you figure that out? The topic of the conversation is the new car that the man just got. All right. Pay attention to those two first lines that the main person says, okay? That the main person says. If the first person that is speaking is a man, pay attention to the man. If the first person speaking is a woman, pay attention to the woman. Because those are the people that are telling the story, that are telling the topic. Let's put it into practice. Listen to the first part of each of the conversations and decide on the topic of each conversation. What is the topic of conversation 1? What is the topic of conversation 2? And what is the topic of conversation 3? Okay. And look, it doesn't need to be like the perfect sentence, the perfect complete sentence. You don't need to write the topic of conversation 1 is, no, just write whatever it is. Cars, drinks, global warming, Of course, if you can be more specific, great. But if you can't, it's fine to generalize. The important thing is to make some kind of determination. Let's go.
Listen to the first part of each of the conversations and decide on the topic of each conversation. Number 1. The first part of conversation 1 is,
I'm looking for a part-time job on campus.
what is the topic of conversation 1?
What is the topic?
Part-time job.
Time job
Very good. A part-time job. Can you be more specific or no?
on the campus.
Yes.
On campus, right? Oops. And what about a part-time job on a campus? Are they quitting? Are they looking for? Or are they thinking about? Do you remember? Or no?
Yes, he's looking for.
Very good. Looking for a part-time job on a campus. Number 2.
Number 2. The first part of conversation 2 is,
Hi, Jack. It's good to see you again. Are you ready to get down to business again after spring break?
Not really, but I guess I don't really have too much choice, do I? And it's going to be particularly hard to get back to work since I just had the most fantastic vacation ever.
Really? What did you do?
I went kayaking on the Klamath River.
What is that about?
The or back to the vacations.
Back to
I don't know.
vacations? Or back to work?
Back to work, yes.
Okay. Going back to, what do you say, Fernando?
Yes, going back to work, and he is returning to his vacations.
Okay. He's going back to work from his vacations, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I would say that maybe he is more specifically talking about
In spring.
he's going back to work from his vacations, but I think he's going to talk about his vacations, don't you think? Let me go back a few seconds.
It's for spring, right?
Here, listen.
Number 2. The first part of conversation 2 is,
Hi, Jack. It's good to see you again. Are you ready to get down to business again after spring break?
Not really, but I guess I don't really have too much choice, do I? And it's going to be particularly hard to get back to work since I just had the most fantastic vacation ever.
Really? What did you do?
I went kayaking on the Klamath River.
The man is going to talk about what?
Your vacations in a river.
Yeah, his vacations on a river. He went kayaking and things like that. So even though the conversation started about like coming back to work, disgusting, he also wants to talk about his vacations. Like, no, I'm not really ready to go back to work. Let me tell you about my vacations. Okay. And the last one, number 3.
what is the topic of conversation 2? And 3 is,
Did you read the article that the professor assigned for tomorrow's class? It was really interesting.
No, not yet. What was it about?
It was about pollution, specifically one kind of pollution called acid rain.
what is the topic of conversation 3?
What is the topic about, guys?
Pollution.
Pollution.
The
Can you-
article about pollution.
The article about pollution. What kind of pollution do you remember?
Yeah, acid rain.
Acid rain. Ugh. Do we have acid rain in Mexico?
Yes.
I
Whoa,
don't know.
really? Oh, wow. Where in Mexico City, Fernando?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that. It's crazy. How do you do it? You just don't go out when it's raining acid?
Sometimes when the pollution is high in Mexico City, the cars doesn't circular.
Yeah, the cars don't circulate.
Yes.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Well, thank you for telling us about that. And well, guys, we're finished. Okay, we're finished. Congratulations for surviving the first week of the TOEFL preparation course. Any questions?
No.
No.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'll see you next week. Next week, we're gonna do the third part of the listening,
Okay.
and we're gonna begin with the structure and written expression. Okay.
Okay.
All right. See you. Take care, guys.
Thank you.